You've probably heard the name Israel many times, but behind that name lies a complex reality few people truly understand. In this video, we'll travel to a land where history, politics, religion, science, and war are tightly intertwined. A place that boasts cutting-edge military technology and alleyways that still smell like the Middle Ages. This is Israel.
Israel is located in the heart of the Middle East, the only country in the world with a Jewish majority population. Strategically placed at the intersection of Asia and Africa, it borders the Mediterranean Sea to the west, Lebanon and Syria to the north, Jordan to the east, and Egypt and the Red Sea to the south. The Gaza Strip and the West Bank on the west and east sides are still hotbeds of conflict.
With its Mediterranean climate, the country experiences hot, dry summers. Israel's population is around 9.4 million. Interestingly, about 45% of the world's Jewish population lives here. The religious demographics are also striking. 74% of Israelis are Jewish, 18% Muslim, and around 2% Christian. But here's the twist. Not all Israelis are Jewish, and not all Palestinians are Muslim. The country is a mix of ethnicities and faiths.
The official language is Hebrew, the same ancient language that had nearly vanished for centuries, only to be revived and spoken daily once again. Most Israelis are fluent in English, and street signs are typically written in Hebrew, Arabic, and English. Jerusalem is the heart of both holiness and conflict. It's sacred to all three major Abrahamic faiths: Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Western Wall, and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre are all located here. Every year, thousands of Muslims, Jews, and Christians travel to this city for spiritual pilgrimages.
The city is divided into distinct neighborhoods: Muslim quarters, Jewish quarters, Christian and Armenian quarters. About 60% of Jerusalem's population is Jewish, while the rest are mostly Arabs and Christian minorities. Most of the sacred sites are in East Jerusalem, the part of the city that remains a political and religious powder keg. For Muslims, Al-Aqsa is where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to the heavens. For Jews, the Western Wall beneath it is the most sacred remnant of the Second Temple. For Christians, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre marks the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ and is jointly managed by multiple Christian sects.
But Jerusalem is also the center of one of the world's most heated political conflicts. In the 1967 Six-Day War, Israel seized East Jerusalem, and in 1980 passed a law declaring the city its undivided capital. Palestinians, on the other hand, see East Jerusalem as the capital of their future state. Yet, the international community still does not officially recognize this claim. Most embassies remain outside. The security is extremely tight in Jerusalem. Police forces, checkpoints, and body searches are part of daily life. Protests, clashes, and tension are an ever-present reality.
In 2002, Israel constructed a controversial security wall, claiming it was necessary to protect its citizens. But the wall crosses into Palestinian territory, beyond the official borders. Israelis call it a security barrier. Palestinians call it a symbol of land seizure. If you look at the maps of Israel from 1948 to today, you'll clearly see the gradual expansion of Israeli-controlled land and the shrinking of Palestinian territory. Today, Israel controls 80% of historic Palestine. Israelis claim that much of the land was legally purchased, but satellite imagery, field reports, and human rights organizations tell a different story.
To attract Jews from around the world, Israel offers generous financial incentives. Couples who migrate to Israel can receive thousands of dollars in support. The goal is clear: to gather all the world's Jews under one national flag. Birth rates among Jewish families, especially ultra-religious ones, are remarkably high. On average, each woman has 3 children. This is part of a deliberate population growth strategy. Israel has one of the strongest education systems in the world. Over 51% of people aged 25 to 64 hold a university degree. It also ranks 12th globally in the World Happiness Report. The average life expectancy? About 83 years.
A GDP per capita is around $44,000, higher than countries like France and the UK. But is life cheap there? Not at all. In 2021, Tel Aviv was named the most expensive city in the world. Interestingly, fruits and vegetables are relatively cheap. Why? Because 70% of Israel's food supply is domestically produced. Despite having a desert climate, 90% of its agricultural output is export grade. Since 1948, Israel's population has multiplied by 10 and its economy by 70. It's now among the 40 most developed countries in the world, and, excluding Cyprus, the only one in the Middle East.
When it comes to startups and innovation, Israel is a global powerhouse. Before the pandemic, it had the highest per capita startup rate in the world. Militarily, Israel is a giant. It receives over $3 billion annually in military aid from the US, possesses nuclear weapons, and manufactures some of the most advanced military technology. In fact, 10% of all global military equipment is produced in Israel. Over 6% of its GDP is allocated to defense, the second highest rate in the world after Saudi Arabia. Military service is mandatory for both men and women. Women make up 40% of Israel's armed forces. Service time: 2 years for women, 2.5 for men. Arabs are exempt from mandatory service.
The Sabbath, or Shabbat, is strictly observed by religious Jews. They avoid all physical work on this day. Government offices are closed Friday and Saturday. Some elevators even operate automatically to avoid pressing buttons. Dress codes in Israel also vary. In ultra-Orthodox areas, wearing shorts or short skirts can get students expelled. Society is sharply divided. Religious conservatives want strict enforcement of Jewish law, while secular Israelis push for personal freedom. You'll see this contrast especially in Jerusalem. But in Tel Aviv, life is much more relaxed. There, people dress freely, throw parties, and religion plays a smaller role in daily life.
If you've made it this far, you now see that Israel is a country of contradictions. Faith and science, tradition and progress, conflict and innovation. A land caught between identity, history, and politics. If you'd like to know more about what lies behind its power and strategy, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and leave a comment below. Our next video, we'll dive deep into the hidden truths behind Israel's military might.